Hello, this is Jarad with Bear Bull Traders doing a recap for December 22nd, 2021. Couple of things in play today, but starting off with the morning watch list. Markets were mid-range. SPY and NASDAQ have been trading in a relatively wide overall range, but we found ourselves roughly in the central area of that range. So looking for directional bias in this area was a bit challenging. Started off by looking for stocks in play versus stocks that move or move with the market. Some ideas, of course, being Tesla. We had a strong buying candle in the previous session. Some other EV stocks for Sympathy plays. BlackBerry off of its earnings. And then the travel stocks, cruises and airliners, as they've been catching a bid over the past couple of sessions and have had nice ranges to play for intraday trades. So in the morning, Tesla was quite strong. We'll take a look at that chart in just a moment. But I opted to play Lucid for a couple of different strategies. You'll note Lucid started off the morning somewhat captured around previous day close. We had a nice buying candle away from this area, making it all the way to R3 for those Camarilla traders out there. A pullback to VWAP, I decided to get long as I was seeing Tesla strength in the morning, trying to play Lucid as more of a sympathy stock to Tesla. Took a partial at R3, basically back to the swing high, and then decided to stop out as we back tested previous day close. It came across my entry point. Saw the bounce on previous day close, decided to get back in. More of a momentum style trade into a breakout, breaking R3, extending higher into approximately 39 area, taking partials on this entry, and essentially risking my entry candle, so a very tight stop, looking for that momentum to carry me forward through the previous swing high. We pulled back to the breakout area, started to chop a little bit, and then ultimately sold back down. I decided to bail on that entry as I saw the weakness occurring both in Lucid and in Tesla, watching both stocks at the same time. Tried to get back in for another long, decided that I wasn't quite at the right spot, wanted to be closer to previous day close. And then as most traders know, just getting distracted, looking at different things, missing the really good entry point, and then watching the stock run away without you. So Lucid was still very strong throughout the day. We also had a very bullish level 2. Lots of ass stacked to the top side. And what was more interesting is we had a ladder all the way to approximately 40. A little bit higher, some inventory above 40, but 40 being that ultimate target. So as Lucid was recovering from this pull down to previous day close, was still watching Tesla for Sympathy. Took a bit of a breakout trade near the previous swing highs. Got a couple of partials into R4 and the daily level. Pulled back into my entry, decided to bail. Saw another big extension. Tried to get back in for sort of an ABCD near the highs. Didn't really see what I needed to see, so bailed very quickly. In and out, just kind of playing things as they come. Stock ultimately did pull back, so glad I got out of that particular position. Entered back in at VWAP, and this is where sort of that main trade took place. On this VWAP entry, scaled out small into R4, but was looking for the R4 breakout and essentially getting to that $40 inventory that was advertised on the level 2. You can see that we stayed at R4 for approximately 10 minutes, and then we saw a really strong rally, basically a move into 40. Not necessarily with the type of trending structure, but just a market ready to facilitate the upside inventory and basically fill those 40 orders. So I took profit at $39.50 and my final target at 40, taking off the final large portion of the position and then stopping out as I saw the fade back into the daily ranges and ultimately a pullback to VWAP once again. Lucid never really became bullish after that point. There was a couple of bounce trades near R3. But ultimately, this stock felt a bit tired at this point, and the level 2 didn't have any more significant inventory for me to play. Now, as I mentioned, we were watching Tesla pretty much all day, and Tesla had a very clean morning rally along with a parabolic move through 1,000 and getting into some upper price levels that we haven't seen in quite a while. Some preliminary targets as Tesla was gapping up was things like the sell-off candle that started this more recent swing low. This, of course, would be in about 995. I was forgetting my price. So we'll go ahead and mark that really quickly. We also had the psychological 1,000. That, of course, was just a value zone for Tesla to kind of be drawn into. And then from there, we were looking at maybe some possible aggressive targets near the high side, things like moving averages being back tested, along with just these zones of interest whenever Tesla was initially selling off, these short-term ranges that held a support at the time. Now, as you can see, I marked that 995, and I'll move it up slightly here. This actually became sort of an area of interest in the intraday, seeing some short-term reactions here, along with seeing on the run-up an actual stall at 995 before that parabolic move really got going. You can see the type of volume change when we got over this price level, and the stock really started to move aggressively all the way into 10.15. Took a couple of shorts, most of which were break-even trades. Wanted to bail on my second short because I got a poor fill having to average in to that size. Wasn't comfortable with the risk parameters at that point, so bailed at break-even. And then eventually, as Tesla sold off back into VWAP, you can see that I found another entry point for a long, risking about a $2 to $3 move to the downside and getting a move back to 1,000. Tesla ultimately pushing much higher up to 1,010 into the close. Last but not least, I took a small trade on MRNA. MRNA has an interesting structure on its daily. Lots of gaps and lots of levels to sort of assess as the market moves into them. But the one candle I was looking at for sort of an area is the high side of this strong reversal candle that set the low for the time being on MRNA. If we look at the candle high, this high being 246.1, if I move this up to roughly that area, you can see that MRNA actually had a bit of a double bottom in this area. And I went ahead and took the initial entry, was seeing some of that buying pressure step in. Wasn't really willing to give it too much room, about $1.50 overall. If we started to flush below 245, I'd have to reassess this entry. But the market did recover from this downtrend. Took some profit at about 247.50, 249, and then my all out 250, which represents S4 in the Camarilla study. So overall, today was a pretty good day. I would say missing out on Tesla felt a little sad to watch. We saw a lot of people make some good trades in Tesla's bull run in the morning, and even catching some sort of intermediary bounces in between. Glad I was able to take part in that intermediary side, but obviously a little bit of FOMO, missing the big move from 960 to 1015. Some notes for today, just looking at the Sympathy play. Obviously, trading the leader, especially when you have a really good daily setup, tends to be a bit of an advantage. You get stronger, maybe more people focused on that particular name. And what you can often do is trade that runner, the one that's leading the charge, much more aggressively, kind of keeping your focus on that name, but also have a little bit of core position in some of the Sympathy names. That way, if they all run at the same time, you feel like you caught some of the sympathy play, but you focused on the one that gives you the best range and the best opportunity overall. So, bit of a lesson learned today. I've seen it somewhat trade the opposite way, but Tesla today really strong, really powerful. No real reason to see weakness outside of that parabolic top. So, glad we were able to watch it and monitor. Congrats all to those who traded it. And ultimately, these are my trades for today. Closing the day out with about 4.5 to 5R. Let's see, 5R total. Looking forward to the rest of the week. Tomorrow is looking to be a bit of a slow day, last day of the trading week for the holiday weekend. And then looking to come back into the final week of 2021 even stronger. New game plan, new mindset, and new strategies to try out. So looking forward to talking with y'all more. If y'all have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the bottom comment section below. And as always, trade safe. We'll talk again later. Thank you.